Binary Sudoku is just not a challenge. Greetings, everyone. I have a new piece of tech on the bench today we're going to take a look at. This was sent to me by a company called Pergear. They asked me if I wanted to review a thermal infrared camera, and I said sure. That's something I've kind of wanted for the bench anyway, and those being kind of expensive, it's something I never bought. They said I can keep it after the review, but like always, I'm going to give my honest opinion. Banggood sent me amplifier boards in the past, and I didn't give them a very good review, so I think I'm on their blacklist. So I like the unit's form factor. It's compact, yet has a sizable screen. I believe it's 3 inches. On the front you have the camera and a LED little light you can turn on. So if you're working in the dark, you have something to see by. On the side, you have some control buttons, the LED and the power. On the back end here is a USB-C connector for charging and connecting to your computer. More buttons on the right side. This is kind of a rubberized grip feel here on the sides. It feels pretty solid and substantial. I turned it on here. Takes a few seconds for it to boot up. You can hear it click. And there we go. There's my scope. For some reason, the oscilloscope is warmer than the background, even though it's turned off. So here is the screen, of course, and you notice it has these cursors. The white one is for center. The red one is the hottest point, and the blue one the coldest point, and it automatically seeks that out and tells you what temperature they're set at. You can turn those off or set the temperature to Fahrenheit if you want. Down here you have your modes, like you have video, photo, setup, and if I press these buttons on the side here and scroll through the options, this palette here, you can select the different color palettes. Once this icon is in the center here, you quick press the power button and it highlights it. And now you can see all the different palettes. So I'll just briefly scroll through it. Different color palettes. I probably have something better to point the camera at, but use my hand. Monochrome, inverse, and this is the one I like. It's pretty common. I just leave it on that one. I'll take a brief look at some of the menus here, so I'll highlight the menu icon, and here's some of your settings. I'm not going to go into everything here. You can adjust some things. The thermometer icon here, so you can turn those measurement cursors off, adjust the unit, emissivity distance, temperature range. You can go from -20 to +120, or highlight that and set it for 100 to 400. And that's a wider range if you need to check something that's hotter than usual. But for normal use, like around the house and things, I just use the -20 to 120C. Has a nice presentation with the packaging here. Has USB-C cord and the manual. And I guess that's a serial number card. One thing I wish it did include was a little carry case for it, like a little padded case or even a little nylon case or something for it. So, you know, when you're not using it, you can just put it away so it doesn't get scratched up or whatever. Yeah, I wish it had something like that. It has a place for a wrist strap, but they don't include that. I mean, why not? Why not include a wrist strap with that? So yeah, it's two things it should have, is a little case and a wrist strap. Okay, I have the JAT 501 amplifier set up here, and we'll get a thermal signature of it. Since I don't want to hold two cameras, try to film the screen of the other one, I'll just shoot video on that and do a voiceover. This does not record sound. It would be kind of nice if it did. I don't know if that's common with these cameras or not. But I'll just do a voiceover with that. And we'll put the amplifier under load and see how it heats up. You'll see different parts warm up. So what you're seeing there are the warm TO92 transistors, constant current sources, and that lower one is the voltage amplification stage class A transistor. So now you can see the emitter resistors and the output transistors warming up as I loading it down with a signal on a 4 ohm load there. And those are the load resistors. I have it set for 4 ohms. Okay, so what I'll do now is put up some video I've shot with this thing and do a voiceover. These things have so many uses around the house, even work, especially on the bench here. You can find components that might be overheating. Say you're repairing something, you can search around for parts that might be warm, or conversely they could be cold when they should be warm. So yeah, very handy item to have on the bench. Okay, you're looking at the indoor part of my mini split unit heat pump mode. That's my little box amplifier sitting idle. Behind it is the power supply. Next to it there I'm picking up is a power brick plugged into an extension cord. Looks like a glowing block. This is my car tire after driving on the highway. It's a little bit warm. Now I am outside. Notice the, well, when I pan down here, I'm looking at the sky now. Notice the road and the sidewalk concrete foundation of the house is all warm. The grass area is cooled off. As I walk in front of this window, you can see my reflection for a moment. Glass reflects the thermal radiation. Now I'm walking around to the side of the house. You can see the mini split unit on the outside. The refrigeration pipes tubing is in a ductwork. It's like a cover mounted to the side of the house there. It's in heat pump mode and those are warm a little bit. Now I'm looking at power lines. They're not actually warm, it's just that the sky behind them is a lot cooler. So it looks like they're glowing, but they're not really warm or anything. I was kind of wondering if the current through the wires would warm them up a bit, but we're not really in air conditioning season, so they're not too warm. Okay, this is my exercise bike with the alternator. If you watched the last video, I had to fix that. After running it for 40 minutes, you can see that resistor's warm on the side. That's a transformer. You can see the belt is warm, the light bulb is warm. There's that resistor on the side there. Notice the unit, sometimes it hangs up a bit. I think it's switching the thermal filter in front of the sensor. I'm not sure what it's doing. That's the cranks. They're a little bit warm. There's some friction in the bearings there. Okay, I'm now just looking around the room. You can see the rafters in the ceiling. You can kind of see the lines where they show through. That's a door. Looks like some cold's getting in near the bottom of the door. I'll have to check the insulation there. That's the staircase door to the upstairs. You can see some coldness there. And the handprint on the wall trick, the thermal handprint. So what do I think of this thing? Well, I'm happy with it. It does what it's supposed to do. I haven't had any glitches or crashes or lockups. Connects to the computer just fine. Was able to bring the video files into the editor with no problem, as you've seen. Work just fine. They're MP4 files, by the way. So I would certainly recommend this. Tons of uses outside the bench. Some of what I showed in the video, like checking how well insulated your house is, looking for potential voids in the wall where there's no insulation. One time my friend's cat got away. It went up a tree in his neighbor's yard and he couldn't find it. It would be able to detect the animal's body temperature, and you'd see it in the tree. So yeah, just tons of uses for this. Another use I can think of is parasitic drawl in a vehicle off the battery. So the car's parked, engine's cool, and you're getting, say, like a half an amp of parasitic drawl somewhere. Well, at 12 volts, that's 6 watts that has to be dissipated somewhere. So if you searched around with one of these, you might be able to locate the source of that power draw, because of course it would be warmer than the surrounding area. Well, if you're interested in buying these, I'll put links down in the description. And I guess I'll wrap it up here. Thanks for watching.